Well, to all that are watching live on Facebook, want to say hello and welcome as we get ready to qualify for tonight's Sound Gear North-South Super Late Model Challenge at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. We're going to be giving you the live preview for the Super Late Models and the Pro Late Models. Tonight, Nashville's Pro Late Models will have a 100-lap feature before we go green in the North-South Super Late Model Challenge. I'm John Ramos alongside Adam Mackey. We'll have Ryan Murphy on pit road. Adam, it's a great day to be in Middle Tennessee.
It is. It's going to be a great night of racing action. Trey Craig rolling onto the raceway. We know he's been fast as of late and able to get into victory lane here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. And he's the first of the Pro Late Models to roll onto the racetrack. Pros qualifying first to set their field for their 100-lapper later tonight. And then the Supers will roll off for the North-South Super Late Model Challenge 100.
Trey Craig, the driver out of Louisville, Tennessee, in the DCI General Contractor Chevrolet. That number 15 caught his first win here just a couple weeks ago in the Battle of Broadway 150. The only Corvette stickers on any car tonight. He has not finished worse than third throughout the entire 2024 campaign, but he missed the first race of the season, which is why he is not currently the championship leader. 53 points back, sitting fifth.
Trey Craig, a good veteran wheelman behind the wheel, and he's going to be one of the favorites in that 100-lapper for the pros tonight. Of course, the pros qualifying not quite as important as some of the divisions because they do a redraw here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Usually it's a 1 to 8 with only 14, I believe, entries for this race. It may be a little less than that for the invert. 19:244, the lap of record for the number 15 of Trey Craig.
On the racing surface, a driver of the number 55, that is George Phillips. George, the driver out of Charlotte, North Carolina, in the Citrus Safe, Ross and Whitmer, Inc., the Racing Warehouse Chevrolet. He drove a Toyota earlier in the season. But went ahead and made the change for the Battle of Broadway 150, moved to a Chevrolet. It's a brand new body for Fathead Racing. He replaced Jackson Boone, who raced full-time in 2023.
George Phillips is a talented young racer. He's been traveling, doing a lot of the events down at New Smyrna Speedway, ran the World Series last year for a few of those races, was a contender on each of those, and right now he's quickest of the two drivers on track, a 19.173. Dropping Trey Craig to second quick with that 19.2. Brings up our third qualifier of the early afternoon here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. A full night of racing action scheduled to begin at 5 p.m. Central Time on tracktv.com and racingamerica.tv. If you don't have a subscription to those services and you can't make it to the track tonight, make sure and get online, get one of those subscriptions to tracktv.com or Racing America, and you'll see all of tonight's coverage from Nashville. On track now, Chad Willis, a driver of the number 99 from Bowling Green, Kentucky. He has already had one race of the season under his belt, the opening day 100. Willis has not been in the car for quite some time. He went to school, was out of the car for 8 years, became a doctor, came on back, and this is his second time around on track. We very much know this driver. That is Dawson Sutton, the driver out of Lebanon, Tennessee, in the Rackley Roofing Warshox Chevrolet. Think about Dawson Sutton and some of the successes he's had as of late. The Father's Day 100 win at Milwaukee Mile for the Super Late Models. He's one of the main contenders now with the ASA Stars National Tour. He's having a solid season, third in their standings, and of course running well here at Nashville, his home track, where he's picked up a recent Pro Late Model win as well. Dawson Sutton, the Rackley War, number 26, coming off the corner, looking to move to the top of the board, and he does with a 19.154. Dawson Sutton in the number 26.
The other thing is, he also made a start at the Nashville Super Speedway there at the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Here's a driver that's been eyeing a win for quite some time. The number 5, Brett Robinson from New Albany, Indiana, in the Hypercars THTI Welder Supply, Brandon Oakley Race Cars Toyota. Talked with him yesterday. The first words that came out of his mouth were, "I'm due. That's all I'm thinking about." He finished second in the Battle of Broadway 150. He's been running well in the or should I say, the Jag CRA All-Stars Tour. He's got a top 5 in Owasso, got a top 3 over there at Anderson. Brand new car from last year, and he's making the most of it. Robinson Across the line, sits with a 19.247. On track, the driver of the number 29. From Lebanon, Tennessee, in the Day Racing Products, Hunter Transport, TN 811 Bass Tire Chevrolet, that's Hunter Wright. Wright, the only driver in this field running a Gen 2 Pro Late Model body. Everyone else is still currently on the Gen 1. Right, not the season he's wanted, not the runs he'd like to see, but currently is grabbing or looking for that first win of 2024. Part-time mechanic also there for Wilson Motorsports. You'll see Wilson running in the North-South race. That'll be later tonight. Wright drops a 19.156, currently sitting second on the pylon. On the racing surface, the driver of the number 14 from Madison, Tennessee, that's Davey Coble. Coble has not raced since late April. He had a wild slide on the front straightaway, lost the back end, and well, he hasn't been able to turn a lap since. First time back, missed the Battle of Broadway 150. Usually he's a driver that comes in and out, more of a local favorite.
Yeah, he's one of the local mainstays here for a lot of seasons. A veteran driver, Davey Coble, in car number 14. As qualifying continues for the Pro Late Model Division at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Dawson Sutton currently quickest with a 19.154. The times at the top of your screen, not quite in the order from timing and scoring. That is qualifying, as Sutton is 19.154 is your quickest right now. You see Davey Coble, he is 7th quick in qualifying. Right now the current order has Sutton, followed by Hunter Wright, George Phillips, Trey Craig, Brett Robinson, Chad Willis, and Davey Coble. Those are the competitors 1 through 7 in qualifying so far as we roll qualifier number 8.
Quinn Davis takes to the track. The driver out of Tucson, Arizona, in the Key Heating and Cooling, Bulls Snot, the sponsorship manual, Mid-Tennessee, Detail Chevrolet.
Send it down to pit road for our first report of the afternoon.
Well, guys, I'm here with Bubba Pollard. Now, Bubba, you've got a lot of experience at this racetrack, but in the heat of the day like this, what does it take to put down a good ball? Oh, well, Bubba, we're having some technical difficulties here, but Bubba, you have so much experience at this racetrack, or really racetracks all across the country, but what does it take to put down a solid qualifying lap here at Nashville?
It's going to be tough today. It's so much hotter than what we're probably going to end up racing tonight, so you just got to be smart, and as long as you got good balance on your race car, it should go fast.
So getting a word with Bubba Pollard down in the pits right now as the number 20 car, Chase Johnson, on track for qualifying.
Done a great job.
Johnson, the driver out of Mount Juliet, Tennessee, in the Action Homes Toyota. Ryan Murphy just finished up a word there with Bubba Pollard. Chase Johnson on the racetrack coming down off turn 4. He is another one that was really close to getting a win this year. Unfortunately, had things not go his way a couple rounds back. He was strong, but at the end of the day, he is still looking for that first run at top of the board. Johnson gets it here, a 19.137.
Yeah, good run for Chase Johnson in qualifying, the 19.137. Dawson Sutton currently 2nd quick. Hunter Wright, George Phillips, Trey Craig rounding out the top 5 as the number 14 car, one of our 2 number 14s, rolls onto the raceway.
Corey Duzer, the driver out of Georgetown, Indiana, in the CD Electric Bear Graphics Ford. He's 24 points back, sitting 2nd in the current championship standings. He won the Pro Late Model race last May, and he's always favored the hot, slick conditions. So I'd say really keep an eye on him when qualifying. Duzer to the line, 2nd quick, 19.145.
We know he's been fast this year. He's found victory lane. Corey Duzer, 2nd quick in qualifying behind Chase Johnson. Just missed it by 0.08 of a second. So it's Johnson, Duzer, Sutton, Hunter Wright, and George Phillips now the top 5 as we roll the number 8 car. The veteran driver of the number 8, Mark Day, out of Clarksville, Tennessee, is on the raceway.
Running the Day Racing Products Chevrolet. This is his 2nd start this year. He is the 2006 Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway track champion in the Pro Late Model division. He's always run select races the last couple of years, really just in it to go ahead and find that trophy, but it's always great to see Mark back.
Mark Day, regular here for many years. Rounds up the banking in turns 3 and 4, brings it back down toward the bottom, comes across the line for his lap time in qualifying, and Mark Day will clock in 10th quick right now in Pro Late Model qualifications, as Super Late Model qualifying will be coming up here in just a little bit. Still a handful of Pro Late Models to hit the raceway, including this one. The number 2 car rolling onto the racetrack, John Bolin out of Jasper, Alabama. One of the drivers coming from out of the area, not a regular in the Pro Late Model class here.
Running the Bolin Construction Toyota. First Fairgrounds race of 2024. He's a 2-time Show Me the Money Pro Late Model champion in Montgomery. You won't believe this, Tony Erie Jr. has actually crew chiefed his car before the last couple of seasons. Oh man, pretty
Runs
wide
those Fury
coming
race
down
cars, so the Uries, a lot of times father and son Urie working on these race cars during the course of a weekend. Seen them at the Snowball Derby this past December as Bolin crosses the line 8th quick. Chase Johnson currently fastest in Pro Late Model qualifying at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway with a 19:137. John Bolin on track looking for his second lap, trying to move up the chart. Currently behind Brett Robinson, getting into the top 7 or so, going to be the key if you want to try to make that invert. Second time for Bolin, stays 8th quick as we send it back to pit road.
Well, guys, I'm here with Jackson Boone, hometown favorite. Now, Jackson, I know you've been a little off and on here at the Speedway, but what does it feel like to be back here at your home track?
Oh, it's a good feeling for sure. I've got to give glory to God first off, and thanks to all my sponsors, FHR team, everyone who's supporting us. We've got a good piece this weekend. I think we just put a few of the puzzle pieces, kind of in the wrong direction starting off. So I know we've got a good race car. I know we've got a car to win tonight. So we're just going to have to go our way, and hopefully everything falls into line.
Now, obviously, the heat is a big story today, Jackson. How are you battling those conditions, and how do you think the things are going to change coming this time?
The biggest thing is just not to make adjustments in the heat. So, as long as you don't adjust to the heat and adjust to, what's later in the night, you're in good shape.
Thanks, Jackson.
Ryan Murphy getting a chance to talk to Jackson Boone down there. Jim Wall in the 91, 6th quick for the number 91 car, as we have just a few drivers yet to go in Pro Late Model qualifications. One of them rolling onto the raceway right now in turn number 1.
The 11 machine, Stacy Crane, the driver out of Franklin, Tennessee, in the Warshocks Eagle 1, Lexer Construction, Rackley Roofing Chevrolet.
Stacy Crane, another one of those veteran drivers here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, likes to get to the track a little bit late, and I don't even know if he made it to draw. He's not even on my entry list, so he might not have even made it over to draw. He's one of the last drivers to do that. I don't know. I had to chase him down earlier this year to make sure they got over to draw. But Stacy Crane in the number 11 on track right now. You see our top 10 listed left side of the screen. A little preview for you race fans of what's going on at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway today. Pro Late Model pole qualifying on track as Crane crosses the line at the white flag for his first lap. Going to be 13th out of the 14 that have been on the Speedway. 5 o'clock Central Time is when racing begins on the quarter mile. Several quarter mile divisions: Bandoleros, Street Stocks, Front Runners, Legend Cars, Pure Stocks, another division of Legend Cars, and Limited Late Models, all running on the exciting quarter mile here at Nashville starting at 5 o'clock Central Time. And then after that, the big track, the 5/8 mile, the Pro Late Model 100, followed by the Sound Gear North-South Super Late Model Challenge 100 for the Super Late Models. Their qualifying is coming up next.
On track, the driver number 98 from Mount Juliet, Tennessee, in the Curb Records Town and Country Ford, it's Benny Hamlet. Hamlet's been a long-time racer at this track. He started racing Pro Late Models in the early 90s, started racing at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway around the mid to late 80s. He has been here for quite some time, but is still eyeing that big time win. What's also interesting is the fact that we don't have a dead lap today. You're probably wondering, wow, man, we're really getting through qualifying pretty quickly. No dead lap for the Pro and Super Late Models. A dead lap is when the first lap that goes on out to the racetrack, usually that doesn't count. But with how the conditions are today, they don't want guys just sitting on pit road. They're going to go ahead and have that first time they come back around off turn 4 to the start-finish line to count for their time.
Yep, they're going to come right to green instead of getting a warm-up lap, as they may on a cooler day, but temperatures approaching 100 degrees here in central Tennessee. So no warm-up lap is needed as the 01 hits the raceway now as qualifying continues for the Pro Late Models On track is Austin Wilson, one of the regulars here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. We're used to seeing him in the Pro Late Model class. He's had some good qualifying runs. He's trying to put together a solid 100 lap, make it to the finish, and make it to the finish strong. Can tonight be the night for Wilson? First time for Austin Wilson, 14th quick out of the 16 drivers on track. A wiggle middle of the backstretch for Wilson.
Yeah, he's struggling really through the center as well.
Wilson off of turn 4 to the line. Does he move up at all? He does. Into the top 10. Good pickup on lap number 2. 9th quick for Austin Wilson. Down to our final couple of qualifiers, and I believe our final Pro Late Model qualifier is on track.
John
familiar
Bradley.
paint scheme here from the track, as you see Bradley on the speedway in the 44.
Driver out of Lebanon, Tennessee in the Bradley paving Chevrolet. Ooh. A little loose coming down off turn 2. He's known for racing street stocks on the quarter mile here at Nashville. He's got a couple races already under his belt this year. Unfortunately had an incident down in 1 and 2 around late April that derailed his month of May into June.
John Bradley 16th quick out of 17 drivers on lap number 1, looking to pick it up a bit here on lap number 2 through 3 and 4. Brings it up, comes off of 4, looked pretty solid and into the racetrack. He will stay in position 16 as Pro Late Model qualifications come to an end. Now typically an 8 driver redraw, which the top 8 after qualifying: Chase Johnson, Corey Deucer, Dawson Sutton, Hunter Wright, George Phillips, Jim Wall, Trey Craig, and Brett Robinson, the top 8 in qualifying, Jonathan. So most likely those 8 drivers will be able to come over and pull a pill to determine which position in the top 8 they start here later tonight.
It's going to be a lot of fun to see, and usually that energizes these drivers to be aggressive, makes the racing really exciting. So when you do tune in tonight on Track TV or Racing America, you're going to see the best 8 drivers really have that deck shuffled before they go green.
So they will do some tech, most likely. A lot of times the Pro Late Model division here, an impound type race where they can't work on the race cars, they cannot change tires or make any major adjustments before the start of a 100 lap race. Their race will be next to last on tonight's scheduled events. Several divisions of racing, action-packed evening, and we wanted to give you this preview, but we will send it down to the pits. Your top qualifier, Chase Johnson, standing by with Ryan Murphy.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Here with your top qualifier right now, Chase Johnson. Chase, you guys always seem to have that speed in qualifying. Where do you think you guys set at for the race?
Man, we've been working hard, you know. I've came so close so many times, led a bunch of laps this whole entire year. We've been working hard this week, tested Thursday, Friday, you know, getting this thing tuned in just as good as we can, you know. I think we got a really good car. It was a little snug in qualifying, so I think it's going to turn out pretty good in the race. So I'm looking forward to it, trying to knock it off tonight.
It is Chase Johnson, currently your quick qualifier, guys.
Good run for Chase Johnson. He's hoping to get a nice redraw tonight. Get into victory lane in a tough and competitive and somewhat veteran-laden field of Pro Late Models here. When you look at Chase Johnson, a young kid, but he's been running here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway for several seasons. Corey Deucer, a young veteran in car 14, was second quick. Dawson Sutton, who is really turning it up here in 2024, is third fast in qualifying. Hunter Wright, good qualifying run for Hunter Wright. This has been a frustrating season for that 29. We're used to seeing him up there competing for wins, and they've had some issues with the car. They haven't been that fast so far this season. Can today be the day that Hunter Wright maybe turns it around?
Well, remember, this is the car he used in the World Series of Asphalt back in February at New Smyrna Speedway, and he got a win with that machine. So he definitely has the skill from what he's shown in times past. He definitely has the equipment. It's just about finding that right balance to get to victory lane.
So Pro Late Model qualifying inspection going on. Super Late Model qualifying will be coming up. And while the field is down a little bit in numbers for the Super Late Models, it is still a strong field of competitors. We look at guys like Gio Ruggiero, who has been so good in Super Late Model competition the last couple of years. Dawson Sutton, third in the ASA Stars National Tour. Hey, Casey Roderick, the ASA Stars National Tour point leader and Southern Super Series point leader. He's on property. Bubba Pollard, arguably the best Super Late Model racer right now in the country. He's racing tonight's 100-lapper for the North-South Super Late Model Challenge presented by Sound Gear. Stephen Nasse is here. And you know the field is strong. Nasse struggled in practice today. Overall times for practice for Super Late Models, Nasse 15th out of 16. Jake Finch is here. Matt Craig is here. William Sawalich, quickest overall in practice for Super Late Models. He's here as well. It's a strong field of Super Late Models. Dylan Fetcho, a multi-time champion of Pro Late Model competition. We see Matt Craig's number 54 right there. Matt Craig, he's been successful here on the 5/8s. He's been in victory lane, the All-American 400. Matt Craig, a talented driver. He's been a winner in the Pro Late Model races here at this track, and I think he's one of the favorites tonight as well. And this 54 was top 5 in today's practice session.
Yeah, you also have to look at the driver of the number 7, Jackson Boone. He was 7 laps away from winning North-South last year, and then a radiator hose came apart, ending his day.
Well, there's Stephen Nasse.
Tennessee.
Stephen Nasse in the 51, sitting on the wall, thinking things over. I'm sure they've made some adjustments after the 2 practice sessions today, trying to find that extra speed that they didn't have in practice. 15th out of 16 for the Pinellas Park, Florida driver, Stephen Nasse, and he's had some good runs as of late. Kind of an up and down season for Nasse, but he's picked up a win, the Southern Super Series, back on April 26th at Five Flags Speedway. Finished second at Five Flags recently to Bubba Pollard in that Southern Super Series race at the end of June. And he's been really good here on the 5/8s before at Nashville, so Stephen Nasse just looking for that little bit extra. We don't always expect him to qualify well. That's always one of the things we talk about, but he always races well. But he'd like to be a little better than 15th out of 16 in practice as we send it back down to pit road.
Well, guys, I'm here with Hunter Wright, put out a top 5 time here in qualifying for the Pro Late Model feature later today. Now, Hunter, you guys have had some up and down weeks through all year, it seems like. What's it like getting this good qualifying result, and what do you think you have for the race?
The best we've been on these tires. We've just struggled really badly on these new ST2s. Not really too sure why. It seems like we're really having problems with consistency with them. We didn't feel like we were very good in practice, but picked it up a lot in qualifying. We feel like our tire temps and builds and everything look pretty good for the long run in practice, so hopefully we can get it done in the race tonight.
Thanks.
Now we're ready to go qualifying. Jonathan on track as Michael Hind in the 69 from Hernando, Florida, the Mike Scott Plumbing, Brembo Brakes, 5-Star Bodies and Hamke Race Cars, Toyota. Hind was just 13th out of the 16 drivers on track in practice today. We know he can get up on the wheel and drive this 69. Not a ton of experience here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, but he's on track right now as the first of 16 qualifiers to go.
Yeah, he dropped an 18.972. Remember, this is a backup car because yesterday he blew a motor in final practice. Wasn't very happy about the change, but an 18.9 is nothing to be really upset about. On to the racing surface. Oh, just mentioned him. That's Dawson Sutton. He's performing double duty today, running the Super and Pro Late Model. Sutton driving the Rackley War Shock Chevrolet, the driver out of Lebanon, Tennessee.
Top 6 today in overall practice times for Super Late Models. He's been fast in the Super. He's picked up the win, the Father's Day 100, shocking the world perhaps and beating Ty Majeski on the mile in Milwaukee for the ASA Stars National Tour. Dawson Sutton off of turn 4 across the line. Sutton to the top of the board, 18.798 first lap time for Dawson Sutton. He's got one more coming to him.
Yeah, he's been quick. He's carrying all that momentum and speed. Already has a chip on his shoulder with how great the summer has been for the Rackley War 26. Can he do one better? He should be able to. An 18.628 Dawson Sutton, 3.5 tenths faster than that of Michael Hind.
And that is very close to the fastest time of the day. Earlier today, William Sawalich turned at 18.601 in practice, the fastest practice time. Sutton right there, lining up despite the heat of the day in this mid-afternoon on a near 100-degree temperature at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Guy who's used to warm temperatures. He's from Florida, Panama City, Florida driver. Right there, the number 51, Jake Finch, on track.
Finch recently won a race at Talladega. That was back in April with the ARCA Menard Series. His father is a 3-time All-American 400 winner as a car owner, that being James Finch. So that history with the family really runs deep in Nashville.
Finch off of turn number 4 goes to second quick. Pretty good first lap. He is second of the 3, 18.894 for the Phoenix Construction number 51. He was 10th in overall practice times earlier today. Brings it through 3 and 4 right against the bottom of the racetrack. Pretty good look coming off of turn 4 for Jake Finch. To the stripe, a little bit quicker, but he stays second. 18.831. for Jake Finch, the Lynn Haven, Florida driver, our third competitor on track.
Onto the racing surface, Billy Van Meter, driver out of Indianapolis, Indiana. The Edco Welding Chevrolet will be coming into view just off turn 2. One of the few drivers that also race in the ASA CRA Super Series, as well as the ASA Southern Super Series.
Van Meter has been racing the Super Late Model a lot last year and this year. Full-time competitor last year in the Stars Tour, CRA Super Series, Southern Super Series. This year, a lot of Super Late Model starts as well. He's 7th in the Southern Super Series points, 9th in the Stars points. He was 8th in practice earlier today. Billy Van Meter's first time, the Indianapolis driver, to the line, 4th quick, 19.161. Needs a big pickup, takes a high entry into turn 1, brings it down to the bottom, across the bumps, over the bridge here in turn number 2. The overpass in the second corner, right?
We're going to start calling it that from now on.
Van Meter across the line, second time he moves up a spot. Third quick, 18.944. There is a tunnel over in turn number 2 coming off the second corner, heading down the back stretch that folks can get out of the infield and to the outside of the racetrack during racing action. Provides a unique surface for the competitors as they exit turn number 2. This car is fast.
Driver out of Mooresville, North Carolina. Driving the Starkey Soundgear Rackley War Racing Development Toyota. How about the 62 of William Sawalich?
Well, Sawalich's 62 was fastest today in practice. Driver from Minnesota now calls North Carolina home, comes across the line and goes second quick. Needs a little bit more, 18.669. The time to beat Dawson Sutton, the local, with an 18.628. Can he do it on lap 2? I'd say he can. Each driver has picked it up on the second and final qualifying lap. Sawalich looks good coming to the line.
He got him. 18.610. William Sawalich, top of the board in Nashville.
Sawalich fast in that Sound Gear Starkey, number 62. His time, 18.610. His time in practice today that set atop the board, 18.601. Almost matched it despite the hotter temperatures. Here's a driver who's fast, second quick today in practice, the First Auto Group TRD Toyota of Gio Ruggiero, second place in practice today, the Seekonk Mass driver. What a season he had in Super Late Model competition a year ago. With a pretty solid season here in 2024 as well.
Yeah, he just came back from the Slinger Nationals that was run on Tuesday. Unfortunately, was involved in an incident. This is not the same car that he raced that last Tuesday. This is actually the car he raced at the Milwaukee Mile in the ASA Stars National Tour.
Third quick for Ruggiero, lap number 1. 18.778 for Ruggiero.
Don't be surprised if he could possibly jump top of the board. Everyone has gotten it on the second lap for their quick time. Ruggiero gets it done in 18.576. Put Gio Ruggiero top of the board in Nashville.
I didn't know that anybody would have anything for Sawalich after what we saw in practice. And right there, Ruggiero says, I do. I have a fast race car, the 22. Top of the board right now for Gio Ruggiero is Dustin Smith's number 33 comes to the racetrack. Mobile, Alabama driver, the River Dan, SA Recycling, Hooney's Auto Sales, and Johnny's RV Chevrolet. Smith has shown some solid runs along the Southern Super Series and some races at Mobile as well. Mobile, Alabama driver, P9 today in practice, 6th place in Southern Super Series points currently. Pretty deep into the Southern Super Series season. We talked about it earlier. Their season was kind of set up heavily with a schedule early during the summer months, and it kind of slows down now.
Yeah, they only have a couple races left. This is round 9 of 11 of the points-paying races. Their 12th race is not a points-paying race, that being the All-American 400.
Dustin Smith, car number 33, fourth quick on lap number 1. Pretty good first lap with a 18.827. Second time by for Smith is a little better, but he stays in the 4th spot. 18.824. It's currently Ruggiero quickest. So Sawalich second, Sutton third, Smith fourth, and Finch rounding out the top 5. Billy Van Meter is 6th, Michael Hind is 7th. And our next qualifier is on track. Who's the number 26, Jonathan?
I believe that's Bubba Pollard. Am I wrong?
I
think that's right. The driver of Sonoya, Georgia, and the Pollard Motorsports Freight Racing Corp. But why is he in a freight car? You may go ahead and ask. Well, his team is in a rebuild phase. They only have one engine left, and they didn't want to use it for this race, so called up the freight team and said, you want to head to Nashville? And the rest is history. This is the same car Chase Elliott ran at New Smyrna for the ASA Stars race. And oh boy, is it expected to be fast.
Expected to. He was only 11th quick in practice earlier today, but he's 4th quick on lap number 1 in qualifying. 18.819 for the Sonoy, Georgia driver Bubba Pollard. Every driver on track so far, all 8 of them have been quicker on lap 2. He looks good through turn 4. He comes to the line. Bubba Pollard to the stripe. Stays 4th. Does go about a 10th quicker. 18.728. Pollard 4th quick out of our first 8 qualifiers. Just about halfway through qualifying for the Sound Gear North-South Super Late Model Challenge 100 for the Southern Super Series, the CRA Super Series, both of the ASA brand. Connor O'Kresick and the number 14 out of Grand Bay, Alabama is next to go. The Metro Glass, Paragon Cleaners, Pitts and Sons Towing, and All-Star Graphics Toyota. You know, he's a former winner of Speed Fest in 2019, former Five Flag Speedway champion. And he was one of the best in legend car racing in the state of Alabama in 2023, but he's been driving the late model quite a bit here in 2024 as Connor O'Kresick is on track now.
Yeah, it came out that his last late model win was actually back in 2021 at Cordele, where he toppled Bubba Pollard.
Connor O'Kresick, pretty good young wheelman from Alabama, on track right now, clocking across the line. First time through for O'Kresick. 7th quick out of the first 9 qualifiers. You're watching qualifying. A free preview as we get ready for racing action at 5 o'clock Central Time on the quarter mile at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Second time for Connor O'Kresick into the top 5. Pretty good lap for Connor. 5th quick out of the first 9 qualifiers. This preview getting you ready for racing action begins at 5 o'clock Central Time with all of the quarter mile divisions, bandos, street stocks, front runners, legends, pure stocks, limited late models. And that leads up to 2 100-lap features tonight. Pro late models of Nashville, they race first, 100 laps. And then the Sound Gear Super Late Model Challenge coming up after that. It's all on Racing America and Track TV. Definitely get your subscriptions tonight to check out the action if you don't already have them and you can't make it to the racetrack. It's the second best thing to do. Listen to us. John Nix will be in here a little later as well, calling a lot of the action. It's going to be a fun night at Nashville.
On track, the driver number 7, the only single-digit number car for the Super Late Model field. Out of Franklin, Tennessee, in the Red Street Records Roy Meat Service, Wear Energy ATP, Race Ready, Sims Chevrolet. It's that of Jackson Boone.
Jackson Boone, strong former champion in the Pro Late Model division here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. And Jackson Boone, 8th quick as he backs it down. Jackson Boone gets his 2 laps in, not quite the qualifying laps he would want. Probably going to be outside the top 10 perhaps at the end of qualifying. 8th quick out of the 10 that have been on track so far. This one could be pretty fast.
I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Craig is just able to get it done tonight. The driver out of Mount Pleasant, North Carolina, the CNC Boiler Sales and Service Inc. Chevrolet, former winner of the All-American 400.
And he's won some of the big pro late model races held here as well. He gets around Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway about as well as anyone. Matt Craig, multi-time Super Late Model champion, whether it be the Southern Super Series, the Cars Super Late Model Series from a couple of years ago. He turns the 7th quickest lap on lap number 1, 18.830 for Matt Craig.
We've seen guys at least pick up a 10th or 2 on their second lap. He always talked about loving going to this place, enjoys this track. Can he possibly get right into the redraw? Craig 4th and 18.678.
4th quick, not too bad for Matt Craig. Going to put him solid for tonight's show. Gio Ruggiero is quickest right now with an 18.576. William Sawalich 2nd quick, 18.610. Dawson Sutton 3rd fast, 18.628. Matt Craig, Bubba Pollard rounding out the top 5. And here's the point leader in the Southern Super Series and the ASA Stars National Tour, Casey Roderick on track.
Driver out of Pulaski, Mississippi in the Platinum Express, Braden River Entertainment, Cook Electric, US Tank, Jegs, Mobile One Chevrolet. He is the leader in both series without winning a single race.
I think he can win.
Today can change.
I've seen it before, and tonight could be the night. for Casey Roderick. He's strong. He's up into the 6th position on lap 1, 18.741. He's been in contention in some of the previous races we've seen him in this year and just not quite there at the end of the race. But he has picked up a lot of stage points when it came to the ASA Stars National Tour, which means he's been fast for at least 2/3 of the race, trying to put it together for the end of an event and be out front at the finish. He's 4th quick in qualifying, 18.636 for Casey Roderick.
And his crew chief even said, we're fast. We just need to get past one guy. The problem is that one guy keeps changing week in and week out.
Right. There's Chase Bird, a talented driver from Michigan. Strong on the JEG CRA All-Stars Tour. He used to win everything when it came to quarter midgets. When he was a youngster, he's been pretty good in Pro Late and Super Late Model competition the last couple of years. Chase Berta making the trip to the Music City for tonight's Sound Gear North-South Super Late Model Challenge 100, and he's on the clock right now. Chase Berta across the line, 12th quick out of the 13 that have been on track so far.
Driver out of Lapeer, Michigan, Lapeer Pool and Spa, Rick Ryan, Disposal, Country Market, Choice 1, Bank Ford. He has actually won an ASA CRA Super Series race this year. That came from Flat Rock, so he's got winning in the eyes. Where does he run?
Move him up to 10th quick. He picks up a couple of spots. Chase Berta, 18.868. You know, he was slowest overall in practice, so they picked up about 0.6 from practice earlier today to qualifying. So they made a lot of ground up. Did Chase Berta good to see, as they're going to be competitive now for tonight's 100. This guy should be competitive, right? He knows how to get around here. 3-time champion in the Pro Late Model division, former front runner in the Legend Car class here as well. He's a good one. It's Dylan Fetcho at his home track in the 89 car.
Driver out of Lebanon, Tennessee, the U.S. Tank, Hunter Industrial, Haley Vet, made by Mosley Chevrolet. 3-time track champion in the Pro Late Model division, has been racing here most of his life, but has yet to get a win on the Super Late Model scene. First lap at 18.808 puts him into the redraw, but if everything stays the way it's at least been, the second lap he should be able to pick it up with the hot temperatures. Gets it down, painting that yellow line. Strong off exit. Feccio, does he do one better? He does, an 18.740, but will sit 7th quick.
Dylan Feccio 7th right now. Fastest is Gio Ruggiero, 18.576, the time to beat. William Sawalich 2nd quick. Sutton 3rd. Roderick 4th. Matt Craig in 5th as the veteran on track right now, Johnny Brazier. Hazel Green, Alabama driver, the Lassiter Farms. Space and Rocket Auto Sales, and night moves for Johnny Brazier. Longtime competitor, started many All-American 400s over the years.
And also the 2012 Pro Late Model Track champion at this place.
Talented veteran competitor across the line. Brazier 13th fast on lap number 1, 18.929. Brazier was 14th. Out of qualifying, wow, wild slide coming off of turn number 2 as he pushed up the track, put a lot of wheel into it, back in nearly coming around on Brazier. Fortunately saves it, 2nd time for Brazier. Only driver to go slower on lap number 2 because of that slide over in the 2nd turn on his last lap. But he has a race car in one piece, no damage done. No work on the car, he's ready to go feature racing tonight. He's qualified 13th out of 15. And it brings us our final qualifier. And we go on board with this one into turn 3, looking to pick up a lot of speed from today's practice. Stephen Massey out of Pinellas Park, Florida.
The driver running the All-American Concrete Toyota. He ran well in last year's North-South Super Late Model Challenge. He is an All-American 400 champion, currently sitting 5th in the Southern Super Series point standings. Once again, won at 5 flags earlier this year.
Right down on the line, you see him, a live look inside the car of Massey as he crosses the line, 11th quick on lap number 1.
Love this view. You can really see how much it's shaking in the car. Look at him, hand over fist, trying to keep it pointed the right direction from the 18 degrees onto the launch straight.
2nd lap for Massey off of turn 4, looks pretty solid coming to the line. Stephen Massey, 2nd time. A little slower, last 2 drivers going slower on lap 2. Massey 11th quick. That in-car will be even cooler darkens up a little bit outside. Very bright out there in the afternoon sunshine for Nassie. As that wraps up Super Late Model qualifying for the Sound Gear North-South Super Late Model Challenge, Gio Ruggiero. Maybe surprising a lot of people. Not because he's not expected to be fast, but William Sawalich was the favorite coming into qualifying. Now Ryan Murphy's with Gio Ruggiero.
Thanks, guys. Well, Gio, you set the quick time, but you got a long night tonight. What's it going to take to bring home that checkered flag?
Yeah, just got to be smart and take care of it for 100 laps. We got a fast car, and I think balance is really good for the long run. So can't thank all the Donnie Wilson guys enough for, bringing me such a fast car. And, they worked so hard for me, so I'm going to try my best to pull off the win tonight.
It's 22 car, your fast time here tonight at the Nashville Fairgrounds.
Gio Ruggiero, fastest in qualifying, 18.576. William Sawalich, Dawson Sutton, Casey Roderick, Matt Craig rounding out the top 5. Bubba Pollard just outside of the top 5 in qualifying. Dylan Fetcho 7th, Connor O'Kresick, Dustin Smith, Jake Finch rounding out the top 10. Well, Jonathan, qualifying has come to a close for all of our classes. We're not too far away from racing action taking the track. The quarter mile inside the big track. Some of these guys, the legend cars, will be competing. Bandoleros, street stocks, front runners, limited late models. That's a crazy class, a 25 lapper on the quarter mile. And that race will be the last race right before the pros hit the track for 100. And then the Sound Gear North-South Super Late Model Challenge 100. You can watch it all. If you can't be here at the track, I recommend if you can get here, come to the racetrack. But if you can't be here, we'll have it for you on tracktv.com or Racing America. 2 places you can get the broadcast tonight. If you don't have your subscription, get it now. It's going to be a fun night of racing action with a lot of great competition here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Jonathan, we're going to have a fun night. We're ready to call the action. We have about a half hour to get ready to go. At 5 o'clock Central Time, all the action begins right here from Nashville. Tune in, check it out. We'll be here with you in just a little bit.